take on the Auburn-Montgomery Warhawks. Well, welcome everyone. As here at Laker Field once more, Bill Schindler and Oscar Nevada is with you, and we welcome you to men's soccer as the Lakers at 3-4 overall and 0-1 in the Peach Belt Conference, playing a out-of-conference opponent tonight in the Warhawks coming over from Montgomery, Alabama, and they have had, well, we'll get into it. It's not been a pretty season. But first, let's focus on the home team in Clayton State. And Oscar, this is a team, talking with Pete Peterson, he thinks, there's maybe 2 losses on the schedule. Those would actually be the back-to-back losses in Lander and, of course, with Limestone the last time out, who was a ranked opponent.
Just get some more confidence under our belts.
Well, on the other side of things, the Auburn-Montgomery Warhawks, like we've said, 0-7. It's really a 9-game losing streak when you go back to last season. It hasn't been pretty. They have only scored 1 goal the entire year in those 7 matches, been outscored 26-1. And we'll get into more numbers that, well, they're just not pretty, but it is what it is. And so the Warhawks, I mean, they're on the road today. This is one of those teams, though, that concerns Pete Peterson in a way, because you talk about a team that comes in, all the numbers say it should be a win, but there's that puncher's chance out there, Oscar, that this is a team that comes in with something to prove and they have some motivation.
It's just the way sports is. It's any team can be any team on any given night. So you can't overlook an opponent regardless of them being 0-7. We're looking, this is where we have to come out and definitely win. I mean, it's a win. We can't go back to back to back. So we're really hoping that they can put the game on. Start strong is what we want. First 10 minutes is what's definitely bothered us.
Let's pause for the national anthem. We'll get you the starting lineups afterwards. After honoring our national anthem, let's get you the starting lineups. First for the visiting Warhawks. Up front, they've got Simon van Rieden from Holland. He'll wear number 9. We'll see Jesus Escalera will wear number 26. He's from Dothan, Alabama. We'll see Berkeley Laval as he'll wear number 12, the young man from Louisiana. William York in the midfield wears number 3. Nino Bozison will wear number 8, a young man all the way from Germany, a senior. And on the back line, we've got 2 young men from Iceland. First, Vili Runarsson will wear number 22, and wearing number 23 is Severe Smarson, and he'll, as we said, wearing 23. He's a sophomore. Alexander Wagner wears number 5. Alejandro Costa will wear number 4. They're both on the back line as well. And in the midfield, number 2, Cooper Howard, a freshman. The goalkeeper is Stephen Ingram. He'll wear number 1. And so that's the starting 11 for the Auburn-Montgomery Warhawks. On the Clayton State side of things, it's going to be Dean Foster, the sophomore, starting up front, wears number 9. Remember, no DZ, Dionysus Harmon, because of the red card. So we'll see Sekou Thornell up front. Sekou gets the call. We'll have Kwaku Dwamina as well, a junior from Richmond, Virginia, wearing number 17. Midfielders, Connor Atkinson wears number 8. Mitro Tarunen wears number 10. Tom Mitchison will wear number 23. He's been very good so far this year. On the back line, the stalwarts of Jesse Parson, the senior, will wear number 4. Jordan Nightwell, the captains, the sophomore, wears number 5. Hector Gutierrez gets the start as one of the defensive backs, and he'll be wearing number 15. Carl Addy Jr. wearing number 65. The senior gets another nod in the starting lineup. And in goal, it will be number 25, Larry Frere. He's actually wearing number 0 tonight, which has kind of been taped on. Well, I think one has come off his back, and he might even have just ripped that off, I think, now, too. But he'll be wearing 0. Anyway, we know it's Larry in goal, and we're underway. Welcome, everyone, once again, as the Lakers trying to get back on their winning ways. They've had some, like I said, it's been a tough 2 opponents. So they're hoping maybe things change a little bit here tonight. They played very well, though, and even a very good second half against Limestone when they were down a player. And Oscar, we talked about that as Connor Atkinson getting through. Connor Atkinson off to Kwaku Dwamina, and then instead he'll get it himself. And let's see if the Lakers can start something early. They do want to score early, get at least themselves in maybe a comfortable position. As they go back, Parsons now pushing ahead. The defender comes up, a left footer flips it into the box, and Ingram will cover it up. But, you know, Oscar, we talked about the last time out is there's a player down already for the Warhawks that with 10 players, they played a better second half, did the Lakers, against that Limestone team than they did in that first half.
Yeah, they definitely did. There was, like we said before, it was a tale of 2 different teams. Played quite poor the first half. Then they come in the second half, and they played a whole lot better. And just when you think it couldn't get any better, they get a red card, and surprisingly, they stepped up to the plate and did even better. So even goes to show now, they're playing a different midfield 3 with Mitro dropping in more to receive the ball. And you see Connor Atkinson trying to take it down the line early. So something we haven't seen from the Lakers this year, and they're coming out pressing, you know, within the first 10 minutes, although it's only been a minute and 3 seconds in, but you see that they're trying to attack, and that's what we want to see from them today.
We'll get you the number as soon as we pick it up out there. I think that is number 4, Alejandro Costa, unfortunately the junior from Johannesburg, South Africa. We got 2 players from Jayburg in this game tonight. Dean Foster, of course, from Johannesburg as well. And Alejandro Costa did play for the South African under-17 team for 2 years. Graduated from St. Peter's College in Johannesburg. Of course, they did, remember, South Africa just not too long ago hosted a World Cup. Stephen Ingram, the keeper, will have a goal kick here. And we'll start up again, and it looks like good news is that Costa just kind of came over to the sideline, caught his breath, and he's back in. So whatever contact took him down wasn't horrible. That's good news. Jesse Parsons on the near side will look to push as he'll play it up, looking for Dwamina. Also Foster is there, headed out of bounds, though, by the aforementioned Costa, and a throw in by Dwamina here.
And it's going to be nice to see how Clayton State decides to play today here with Jesse Parsons on the left back position. He's not the fastest player, but he's very good on the ball, and it's going to be nice to see how they work him in, since we like to get more pressure up front.
Mitchison went a long way with that one. I'm not really sure exactly what the thought was, but he was trying to cross it over there and got a little bit too much vinegar under it and sent it all the way outside, and we'll have a goal kick for Ingram. Unusual for Tom Mitchison, who has 4 assists on the season and is usually one of the better midfielders we see with a crosser. Letting it fly is Ingram. He's from Prattville, Alabama. The seniors had a rough year, as we had mentioned. Well, he's been tested a lot. He's allowed 26 goals and 39 saves, about 60% save percentage so far. One of those years for Auburn-Montgomery where they've been outscored 26-1 so far, which, I mean, we'll go through the rest of the numbers, but as you can tell, it's been rough for them. They wear the black jerseys trimmed with orange shorts, and of course the home whites trimmed with orange for the Lakers. I know it's just September and we're about a month away, but good Halloween colors on both sides. Mitchison swings it in. Duamino was waiting, but it's nicely headed out defensively by the Warhawks.
And again, you see Clayton State now attacking and not inviting pressure as they have been in the past couple games, even before the back-to-back losses.
Parsons, who's played up a lot of this match, will take it. The defender tries to swing it in. Foster was there, rejected, though, as Bozesan got a foot on it, the senior from Wurzburg, Germany. 18 matches, 12 starts last year for him. Addy Jr. plays it through the young man from Finland before it goes back through Parsons. Mitro Turunen was who we were talking about. He's been impressive so far. Has the freshman on the outside. Gutierrez plays it ahead. As knocked toward the keeper, and let's see if he'll go over and just let it go. He will. Off the end line, and a goal kick again for the Warhawks and Ingram. They're coached by Wolf Koch, who's sort of a legend. He's been there for quite some time. From an NAIA program they switched over a few years back. As an opportunity for the Warhawks, Frere comes out and kicks it all the way back over towards us and up into the tower. Man, oh man. Tower's taking a beating today. And that was an opportunity there for Simon van Rieden. Talked about him from Oud-Bjorland, Holland, a sophomore. Here's Foster trying to cut ahead. Knocked away from behind for the moment. Then Foster will recover and try to take it farther down that sideline into the attacking zone. Nice move, swung in. There's Duamina, knocked away and off the end line. I think we're going to have a corner here for Clayton State.
And if we go back there, Bill, if we go back to that counterattack that Auburn-Montgomery just had, you can't come into the game if you're the Lakers thinking that an 0-7 record is, this game they're just going to give it to you. So you can't get caught in a counterattack. You can't, lose your mark. This team is still going to come out. They're still going to come play. At 0-7, they're looking for a victory, and hopefully they don't get it on us.
Here's Mitchison trying to get it back toward the middle off of Atkinson's shoulder. Mitchison then recovers once more. Back rolling free ball here at midfield. Trying to keep it alive there. It was Parsons. He'll knock it back, and then corralled there by William York. Warhawks trying to make best attacks as they can to Runin. Back through Parsons and now Atkinson. All the way back now, Addy Jr. with a touch. And then off to Jordan Knight. Well, those corners, there's another stat that has not gone in the Warhawks' favor. Opponents have taken 50 corners this year compared to just 16 for the Warhawks. I mean, that's quite a disparity as a whistle. Duamina was fouled. Getting an arm in there was William York, the junior from Montgomery, Alabama.
Yeah, we haven't really been our best on our corners, although I know Coach Rich went ahead and saw that stat. He had the boys practicing the entire time on corner kicks this week. So we're hoping to not only get one, but be able to finish off of one of those.
Offsides called on the Lakers, so it'll be moved ahead, moved back, and then all of a sudden the Lakers get it quickly. Not much of a possession change there, really. The Warhawks squandering that free kick. Mitchison trying to go into the box again. No flag up as Duamino was lurking. Handled by the keeper, though, Ingram. Beautiful night once again. The weather has been spectacular for late September. It feels more like August. It's been hot, although it's cooling off now and the light's just starting to come on. These two teams, as that's into the box, an opportunity here, but headed back by Jordan Knight. And Knight, one of the captains, heads it back to Larry Frere. That worked out well. Got it away from the would-be attacker in Van Rieden. It's always a little dangerous, though, when you're playing it back that way. Addy Jr. now will swing it all the way over to the far side. Jordan Knight had it for a moment, and back to Addy Jr. To Runin, plays pitch and catch with Addy Jr. Parsons here. Duamina, double teamed and knocked away. Eddie Jr. puts a stop to it, takes it across the center line, headed back. Ball in the air, and finally now the Warhawks will try to move it back into the attacking zone. Atkinson, now Parsons and Addy Jr., a triangle for them. Jordan Knight, who played over in the center back spot tonight. Jordan Knight is really kind of an interesting story. I mean, we've talked about this at times with young man from Javia, Spain. He's lived there, I think, 13 years now or so, but really born in England, still has the English accent, but very fluent in Spanish, as you would be if you lived in Spain for that long. And there he is, the aforementioned Jordan Knight. Parsons here. We're just kind of seeing some possession soccer at the moment here, Oscar.
And that's something we haven't seen. That's something we haven't seen here at home, other than maybe with Southern Wesleyan, but definitely not in the first 10 minutes that we have now.
Dwamina led a little bit long. He's outpaced, so he has to corral it. Now come back and work laterally. We'll see here what Sekou Thornell, we haven't called his name. Here's Tarunan, winds up, partially deflected. Loose ball, plays on. Thornell has it, tries to kick it in and off of the defender, William York Shingard, and it looks like we're going to have another corner here from the near side. Again, we talked about those corner disparities. Also, Auburn-Montgomery's been outshot 148-39 this season. Flipped in, backside, nicely headed out by the Warhawks. Trying to get it on the backside to keep it striking was Connor Atkinson. He'll go over to Gutierrez, plays it from the far back and flips it all the way in, coming out with Stephen Ingram. So we see the far side back, the right back, Hector Gutierrez playing it up, but it was a nice opportunity, at least trying to put it on goal. And we've got a flag offside, so they'll call that on the Warhawks. And trying to get down there was Jesus Escalada. You know what's funny? I mean, this is a guy you know well in Alexis Arriaga, who's not starting tonight. We'll probably see him later, I would assume. He's the only one with a goal for the Warhawks all year, and he's not in the starting lineup.
Yeah, a good friend of mine, Alexis Arriaga, with his whole family, Jonathan and Danny. If I know, I'm sorry, Jordan and Danny. I know Jordan's watching, so a big hello to him and his family. But yeah, it's shocking to see that, you know, with a goal, and you know they're not starting him. He's started, I want to say, 5 games this season, so kind of odd not to see him in the starting lineup. But I'm sure we'll see him out here tonight.
Addy Jr. will look to try to get away from the would-be defender. He's shadowed, though, or the would-be striker, I should say. Atkinson, the midfielder, playing it ahead, trying to get to Mitchison, outpaced, and on a few hops, Ingram again there.
I like the way we're attacking. First 10 minutes, we're on them. We're on them. We're coming up. We've had all, most of the chances, touching the ball around, keeping possession, things we haven't seen. So, it's good that we're playing with this type of confidence now.
Worth mentioning that this is not a conference match. Auburn-Montgomery in the Gulf South. And, of course, the Peach Belt Conference for the Lakers. Both teams actually 0-1 in their respective conferences so far. See a striking opportunity on the backside, and a big swing, and just got under it and lifted it all the way up was the young man from South Africa, Dean Foster. Dean had a good swing at it if he could have put a solid foot on it, and somehow just got laces under it.
And this has got to be the second game where I've seen Dean like that. Last game against Limestone, we see him here at home, and you're giving the ball to him before anyone else to have a one-on-one with the goalie, and he hits it right at his legs. Here you see him again, and he puts it over. Hopefully it's not a spell on him, and he'll get back to his scoring form, later on.
Well, that would be his 14-year-old brother, Dylan, who is a junior golfer, probably would be appreciative of the amount of height he got on that. That was more like a pitching wedge. And let's see what Foster can do here. Dean back into the box. Maybe he'll have another opportunity. Puts it on net and close to the cleanup. No. Somehow they kept it out. Mitchinson tried to get it past the keeper again, and now down is Stephen Ingram. Not sure if he got stepped on or not. Either way, he kept the ball out of the net somehow. It looked like Mitchinson was going to clean it up and put up the Lakers 1-0. Instead, we're going to have a quarter on the near side. The keeper is up, but Foster again close, but no cigar. Mitchinson, Tarunen are the two over there for the Lakers. Mitchinson will just take it short to Tarunen. Now they go to Foster. Back to Mitchinson. Trying to swing it toward the middle. Back over to Gutierrez. Far side right back. Takes it into the box and ping-ponged right back out.
And throughout this week, you had a lot of the boys step up and realize that they hadn't been scoring a lot. You know, all 3 practices they've stayed after and work on their finishing. So, you know, we hope for it to be a high-scoring game today in our favor.
It's interesting about Dean Foster's. I mean, we mentioned his brother, too, the junior golfer. We'll have to talk with Dean a little bit more about him. South Africa's got a great history of golfers. And has been a country that has produced, probably population-wise, more than its fair share, as that's headed back by Parsons, or rather Knight, I should say. It was Simon Van Rieden lurking. Young man from Holland, 6'1", 165 pounds. Appeared in all 19 matches with Tall Stars last year. Really, Van Rieden, and we talked about Arriaga, who's not made an appearance so far. Those are two of the offensive forces. Another guy who has actually 4 shots on the year but has not scored is William York, the midfielder. Those have been sort of the 3 at least offensive threats as the flag goes up in favor as it would trickle off the end line or the sideline on the far side for the Warhawks. Oscar, when you are a team that is struggling like the Warhawks to find the offense, how do you start to get going when you have struggled, like we said, just 1 goal all year?
Well, I'll tell you this, Bill. Last season, we were that team. We were that team that we were struggling, and we just had to find it within ourselves to get someone to step up and start scoring. We never lost, you know, any faith in ourselves. So it's a matter of them trusting each other. You know, I know that they're 0-7 and we're only 3-4, so this is probably a game where they think that they have a good shot at, which they do. So it's just a matter of how they're going to step up, and you've seen it a couple of times here where they try to catch us on the counterattack as Domina loses the ball in the far corner.
William York will have the throw in. And talking with head coach Pete Peterson, he kind of made similar points to what you were making, Oscar. I mean, he said, look, this was, you know, kind of us last year, maybe not the exact same record, but they came out and surprised some teams. So he was a little concerned here today that this is a team that if you let your guard down, they could at least come out maybe and put up a goal or two out of nowhere if you're not ready to play.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, any team could be any team any given night. So it's a matter of not overlooking their record. I mean, they're still going to come out here, still going to want to play. They're going to want to score, so it's up to us to make sure we put it in the back of the net first.
Parsons a crosser, and he was looking there, but nothing really. I think kind of played it a little bit behind Sekou Thornell. Chips it up on the run. Let's see what they can do here, says Van Rieden, trying to get loose and bottled up there by Jordan Knight.
And you can see what they're trying to do as well. They control the ball in the midfield, and they just try to chip it over the top to here to Van Rieden, where they have him isolated with Jordan Knight. But he's handling it well. It's just a matter of how the rest of the defenders go ahead and try to help him out.
Svervir Smarson was the young man on the far side trying to head it in. Another player from Iceland. 2 of those on this team is, in fact, if you tuned into the women's match on Saturday against Georgia College, we talked about Iceland extensively. They actually had 2 players on the women's team to Georgia College, so we're getting our catch up on Icelandic, at least the Icelandic language and the culture. We'll talk about that as a foul is called on Foster, and he's a little bit incredulous about that. Does not get a card. Down, fouled, we should mention, was Cooper Howard, a freshman midfielder from Gainesville, Florida.
Yeah, you're going to get a bad call. Dean needs to be a lot more mature than that and not get, a dumb yellow.
He was lucky, I think, that he didn't, because the reaction was worse than the foul.
Yeah, referee took it easy on him, and again, I mean, it's just a matter of maturity.
Speaking of Iceland, it's going to be one of those players, Vili Runarsson, 22 from Reykjavik, sophomore, 6'2", 205, went to Reykjavik University. He's got a twin. He's got two brothers, and one's a twin. Actually played on a club that their name were the Berserkers. You got to love that, as that'll trickle through off the end line. I don't care what sport, what level, what it is. I just like whatever it was called the Berserkers. Come on, that's great. Gotta love that. That's my fantasy football team next year. On the run, Dwamina. He's got Thornell, but can't cross it.
It's already our third corner. I'm hoping we could do something out of it.
They will
Find
go.
Dean in the corner.
And Foster rockets a left footer too high. So Foster's had 3 opportunities, 2 of which have been over the crossbar. One was pretty close, but the keeper had a nice rejection in Ingram. So Foster's just trying to get that range worked out.
He also had one-on-one with the goalkeeper on a cross that, they're still trying to find the ball. So we'd like to see him get back into form, scoring form. As we have Kwaku going straight.
Here's Dwamina, and into the corner off of the sidebar and in. Kwaku Dwamina, goal number, I believe, 5 on the year. Dwamina has been impressive. He has scored 5 goals on my count is 6 shots. So he'll get now 10 points for the season. And what an addition. This junior from Richmond, one of those transfers from Spartanburg Methodist, scores at 25-17.
You see an assist on it?
Tom.
They'll give the assist to Tom Mitchinson. It'll be his 5th of the year. So after all that time that they had been threatening, finally they get the goal to the Lakers.
Something we haven't seen is the Lakers score first. And if we have, we've seen it very rarely. So it's good to see them, again, not inviting the pressure, scoring first, being on top of the ball. We weren't asleep the first 10 minutes. Give some credit there to Ryan King as he changed the warm-up. So hopefully that's what got them going. And see if we start, maybe this wakes them all up and start putting more in the back of the net. Well,
we talked about the Warhawks' futility offensively. To be fair, the Lakers have struggled themselves. Here's Dwamina again. Kwaku looking for back-to-back. So he'll go to the middle. Mitchinson off to the far side. And Thornell into the back of the net. Back-to-back assists from Tom Mitchinson. Sekou Thornell, though, the senior from Atlanta, will put it away. And just like that, it is 2-0 at the 24-32 mark. So they'll score within less than a minute of each other. And the Lakers, who, what we were talking about, had not scored a goal since September 13th, Oscar. That was a win 5-1 against Southern Wesleyan. They've been shut out at Lander. They've been shut out here at home against Limestone. So 2 matches, no scores, less than a minute, 2 goals.
And, I mean, there's nothing more we can say other than they're playing well. They're playing well. And back to what I said before, we're on them. We're on top of them. Not letting them, think much with the ball. And even though we're up 2-0, I expect them to not let up. And here we go again with Dean Foster.
Here's Foster. Can he finally put it away? Foster a little bit outpaced. He was pushed to the back line. We'll give credit to that good defense of Alexander Wagner from Rattingen, Germany, freshman. And he had to force Foster. Foster, I think, wanted to push it more toward the goal and couldn't do so with the defender right on his heels. Impressive play, too. We talked about Mitchinson, who has been an addition. I mean, all these guys from Spartanburg Methodist. Gutierrez will fall in there too, but Duamina, Mitchison, Gutierrez, those three coming over from where Pete Peterson used to coach and won a national title. Here's Foster. Foster toward the middle, and that's knocked out at the last moment by one of the defenders. That again, Alexander Wagner. Quickly played by Clayton State. Parsons to the middle. Mitchison tries to flip it back off the side of his foot. Nothing doing there. To Runin, back to Connor Atkinson, and now over to Gutierrez. Thornell on the run. Put it off his foot, just a little bit too much on it for Foster has to track it down. Slide kicked out of bounds by one of the defenders. And we'll see now another corner. Actually, this is a throw-in, I should say, for the Lakers. Tarunen, freshman from Finland, crosses all the way over to Gutierrez. To his feet. Nice move on that far side sideline. Crosser, nobody home on the backside, however. Went over the head of Duamina. Off the end line, flag up. (2-0) the score. Lakers scores coming within less than 1 minute of each other. First was Duamina, then Thornell. For Thornell, it's worth mentioning his third goal of the season. For Duamina, his fifth.
Those 2 goals under 1 minute, we've been on the wrong end of that one, have we, against?
Well, you go all the way back to the beginning of the season. Go up to Queens.
At Queens.
Yeah.
At Queens, we're up 1-0, and in the 80th minute, they go ahead and they drop 2 goals in less than a minute. So we've been on the wrong end of it. It's just a matter of the fact that, it was in the last minutes.
Atkinson will foul Cooper Howard, and I think he's lucky that was just outside of the penalty area, or else that would have been a PK. It's still going to be in a dangerous place for a free kick.
And it looks like we're going to get our shot here to see my friend Alexis Ariaga about to step into the game here.
Again, he's the only one that has scored for the Warhawks all season. He has not entered the match to this point. We'll see when they buzz him in, but so far he has turned around trying to see who's going to take that kick. One of the young men from Finland just over the top of the crossbar, though, as Frere will get a kick. That was Ville Runarsson. And we're going to see, as Oscar mentioned, Alexis Ariaga will come in wearing number 14, also number 6 entering the match. That's going to be Asher Gipner. And checking out, we'll see Berkeley LeVay. And also going to the bench, it's Nino Bozasan. Tarunin in the middle, goes over to the far side. Through Knight for a moment. Atkinson and Addy Jr. Back and forth, Addy Jr. again. Atkinson and Addy Jr. back, just ping-ponging it with a 2-0 lead.
And you can see the difference now that, when you're up in a game than when you're down, obviously 3-0 against, as we have Kwaku there.
Duamina has the keeper out, nicely saved by the keeper, and finally on top of it is Ingram.
Would like to see him take an extra touch there. He takes one more touch, and he has the keeper completely beat.
Ingram came out, was almost beat, as you said, Oscar, but did finally just fall on top as Frere will wing it out, and a little bit too far for Foster. Throw in here for Caleb Farguson.
And again, back to what I was saying, you see the difference in how they're attacking, how they're possessing the ball. Instead of being down, now you're up 2-0.
Pete Peterson said really a 4-0 lead would make him a little bit more comfortable, although here's an opportunity. Frere comes out and will knock it away before that can turn into something really bad, as pressing the action was Jesus Escalada. Scalara, who has 2 shots on the year. Here's Foster. Foster again on this near side wing has had opportunities throughout the night. Hasn't put a shot in net, though. See what he can do here. Mitchison in the middle, just in the box, and gets it taken away from him. But then on a rebound, back to him on the far side, Thornell. Thornell trying to play, but can't plant his foot correctly. Falls down and loses possession all the way back as Addy Jr. now plays it back. And we'll have a whistle. I think a foul somewhere occurred in the midfield.
Yeah, it seems like Jordan Knight just got on the... I was very unlucky of him. I wouldn't have called that a foul. I was very weak from Van Rieden. But smart at the same time. Unlucky for Jordan Knight to be at the wrong end of the stick.
Too high off the foot of Svervar Smarsson. We're talking about Iceland in the last match we had, which was the women's match, but we know it's a bit of a different audience. And just worth mentioning, the surnames for Icelandic players are a bit different than what we're used to in other places, where you'd pass on your last name from generation to generation. The way it works in Iceland is you take the father's name, the first name, as all the way back to the keeper Ingram again, but you take the father's first name, and then you put, if it's a son or daughter, it would be son, obviously, for a male, and daughter for a female. So it's Smarason. So his father's name is Smara. So it's Svervar Smarason. If it was a daughter, he would be Smarason daughter.
No, Smara's daughter.
Smara's daughter.
Yeah, because you wouldn't put the son in there, right?
Well, actually, you would, because it's son at the end. Runevarsson has 2 S's, so the A's not. That doesn't have to be in there as it's played back by Frere. You just put the son at the end or daughter at the end.
Okay, fair enough.
But it's an interesting way to do it.
Referee there playing with Auburn-Montgomery.
Tackle from behind. Addy Jr. legally did it, though. No whistle. Mitchison plays it back toward the middle. Atkinson with a touch. Off to the wing, and Mitchison trying to play it ahead. He's got Duamina, had to twist around. Let's see if Duamina can pace it. He does get it. Duamina trying to cut toward goal. Now slows it down, passes to the middle. On goal and in goal.
9 from 17.
What a touch there by Kwaku Duamina. Had to twist and turn, and that's just all core.
Dean Foster finally gets his score. The 5th goal of the season for the young man from South Africa. 15-52 is your score. It's a 3-0 lead. And now one more, Pete Peterson might relax a bit, is what he said. But 3-0. Impressive so far. So Duamina picks up the assist. He already had 10 points. That's going to be his 11th point already. Super impressive play from him. 2 newcomers that we did not see last year, Duamina and Foster. And, boy, they made a difference.
Yeah, you got to be happy. Coach Pete's got to be happy with these new signings that he acquired this season, because they've definitely stepped up and have made a huge impact on this team.
Addy Jr., nice defensive work. We'll play it ahead. The central portion of the pitch, Foster trying to lead Mitchison. Mitchison, can he track it down? A little bit outpaced, and as it'll be flipped out by one of the defenders over there. I think that was Smarson. Foster to the middle. Looking for Van Rieden down there. Plays it over to one of his teammates on the far side wing. Tarunen, Mitchinson. And down that far side wing. Thornell was trying to track it down. Played out, but still going in the direction of the Lakers. 3-0 your score. 14:35 and ticking. Bill Schindler and Oscar Nevadas with you. Still in play on that far side sideline. Now finally will trickle out. Going to have a substitution as well. Will Atkinson will eventually come in for Auburn-Montgomery. Waiting queued up.
How much does this start, going 3-0 with less than 14 minutes left, how much does it surprise you to see how the boys came out?
Honestly, not really too surprised. I mean, this is if a pretty good team in Clayton State is making a move toward the goal. Finally knocked away. A nice save by Ingram as Tom Mitchison was kind of making a move that could have been a fourth goal already, and he'll have a corner on the near side. Clayton State has the 3-4 record has been a bit deceiving. I mean, this is what they should be doing against a team that has struggled this year, quite honestly. Mitchison crosses, a header on the backside will go wayward. Addy Jr. trying to regain possession, instead heads it out of bounds and back in the Warhawks' direction. So we're going to see Will Atkinson coming in. We're also going to see entering the game for the first time Cade Bryant, a freshman.
So much easier when somebody's tracking that.
And so those two will enter for the first time for the Warhawks. They'll switch things up a bit. Going to breather is Simon Van Rieden, who's been one of the more active strikers for the Warhawks. Beautiful night, beautiful score so far for Lakers fans as they lead 3-0. Parsons playing it to Turunen. Addy Jr. now. Atkinson, Parsons to the middle. I think they were looking for Dwamina, but he wasn't there. Addy Jr. is going to have to head it back. Didn't get it quite to his keeper, and Frere will have to come over with a Warhawk crashing down on him, and picks it up anyway, as that was Will Atkinson, who just came in, freshman.
And, one thing that surprised me, he hasn't had to do much defending today, obviously, but Jesse Parsons has been going up, he's coming back. He's had a bit of an injury, so you can tell he's doing okay now, and just slowly trying to get into form. But the fact that he keeps going up, down, and doesn't look like he's been bothered with the injury, or maybe a lack of fitness, none of that seemed to bother him, so looks okay.
11-10 and ticking. Mitchison again threatening just outside the box. They'll lose possession though. Coming over is Cade Bryant. Bryant moves it ahead. An opportunity for the Warhawks, but outpaced, is knocked away as Jordan Knight comes over to clean it up. Throw in will come in on this near side. Bryant will do the honors. They've had Alexis Arriaga down there as well. Free ball in space on the far side. Howard lifted in the air, finally headed back out. The Warhawks and Howard still pushing over there. Runerson from distance and sends it into the trees. We're going to see Christian Young come in, a senior who is taking 3 shots on the year from Millbrook, Alabama. He'll come in and replace Cooper Howard.
We've seen a lot of subs here from the Alabama-Montgomery.
I assume that's I think that's going to happen too for Clayton State, especially after if they score a 4th goal. Pete Peterson was telling me that's where he's going to start feeling comfortable and getting some guys some playing time. Already, we should mention they'll probably go with Ali Pinnell in the second half. That was the game plan pretty much regardless. Get both keepers some playing time. They gave Larry Frere the start so far. He has had an impressive season to this point. He's saved about a 90% clip, I believe.
That just comes from the experience that he had last season. he got to see a lot of playing time because Ollie Pennell went down early. So, at Eckerd to be exact. So, you know, he has the experience. He's definitely not a new keeper. And he's brought it on, you know, to today's game.
Atkinson threw ball and too hard. Duamino was trying to stay on sides and was outpaced by the lead. Instead, it went all the way off the end line.
If there's only one thing, and one thing you criticize Lodi Frere is just his lack of communication. Very quiet guy. So we hope he gets to break out of the shell eventually.
And probably, remember, only a sophomore, so, I mean, he's got some time to kind of grow into that leadership role as Foster streaking through on the far side. Left footer actually was that, yeah, Foster on, set a little bit wide. We had a whistle.
And he just went straight through them. Doesn't get any contact. You know, as a Warhawk, you don't want to give up at all. You know, that, like I said, this was us last season, and not at one point in the game do you feel like you're giving up.
No foul. It will be a corner. Well, those corners have just been short. They would go with Mitchinson just flipping it into Tarunan, and we've seen that a number of times, as now they'll play it all the way back through Frere. Larry from Dalton, Georgia, 6'3", 180. They kind of took to calling him Lurch a little bit last year from the Adams family, the butler, which these guys might be, they're definitely too young to remember the original black and white series. They might be too young to remember even the movie franchise, the Adams family. Seeing some good, at least ball work as far as possession tonight for Clayton State. Although that one was a little bit too wayward on the far side. They'll turn it over with 7:12 to play till the half. They lead 3-0. If you're just tuning in, we saw two goals within a minute span of each other. As first, it was Kwaku Dwamina at 25-17, Sekou Thornell at 24-32. The third was tacked on by Dean Foster at 15:52. Dwamina again pushing in the box. And the Warhawks looking to play it back out to the middle, but they get it to Mitchinson. This could be dangerous. Mitchinson, though, knocked away from him from behind. We should mention Tom Mitchinson, as he looked like maybe would have a scoring opportunity there, has chipped in with 2 assists tonight.
And we have Kwaku Dwamina here flirting with his second hat trick.
Dwamina with an assist, too.
Right. So if Kwaku was able to go ahead and get his third and final goal, it'll be his second hat trick this season alone.
Well, Dwamina's got 2 more to go on that. Foster, Thornell, Dwamina the 3. But Kwaku has picked up 3 points tonight as Frere will bat in the air off of his fist, knocks it all the way back out toward, about the middle section of the striking zone. And the flag for the throw-in lifted in the air for the Warhawks as Brandon Kelly to do the honors. Flipping in the corner, goes back towards Kelly. Kelly then flips it into the middle. Knight will knock it away back toward the center, and Runarsson, a heavy foot that is covered up there by Frere. Nice accuracy, though, from the sophomore from Reykjavik from distance. Mitchinson on sides. Stop it before the end line. Now cuts toward the goal. Beats one defender. Let's see what he can do. Tries to curve it in. Far post, just a little too high. Went over the upper crossbar. Was trying for that upper right corner of the goal. It was well thought out, and he was just a hair off.
So if that's something where I'm using that, doing this, and trying to release at the same time.
So far, there's been a few opportunities for the Warhawks. It has not been totally flawless as Atkinson whistled for the foul, and holding his right leg on the shin guard is number 20 for the Warhawks.
It was a wild tackle. I mean, he comes in and tries to put the hit on Atkinson, but
he's back up, and that's Kyle Castleberry, we should mention, the freshman defender from actually Cummings, Georgia. It has been quite a bit of substitutions, as you were mentioning, Oscar, for this Warhawks team. We're going to see another one at the stoppage of play. Talal Salome. Christian Young crossing. Gutierrez will track it down, flips it back out before Asher Gipner could get there. Now into the striking zone once more, though. Solid defense by Knight. Knight moving it ahead. Sophomore goes off to Mitchinson. Mitchinson, a good right-footed pass. On the far side, that's Thornell on the run. Thornell can't track it down, though, before the defender does. Played back out by the Warhawks. Parsons tried to get a solid head on it. Deflects off at a little bit of a funny angle before Addy Jr. plays it back to his keeper and Frere.
And again, you see the type of confidence that Clayton State looks on the ball. They're playing around. They're able to do what they want. They're able to dictate the game. Tom is just picking that defense apart, playing Kwaku and Sekou and Dean straight through the gaps. So they're doing what they can. They're doing practically what they want with the ball. As you see again, them splitting it right through the middle.
Foster couldn't get it there. Atkinson with an opportunity from outside. Atkinson just couldn't bend it enough on that far side. Under 20, or I should say 2 minutes and 2.5 minutes, just under. Well, they've been now outscored, have the Warhawks, and 29-1 this year.
May I mention, Connor Atkinson right now is wearing my cleats, so I definitely would love for him to score, just so he knows that the magic is with him today.
So it's the cleats is what you're saying?
Yeah, it's definitely in the cleats today. He has my pair on. He wanted to play better, so I told him to go ahead and wear my boots.
Okay. Well, it makes perfect sense.
He's my roommate. I got to look out for him.
I like it. It'll be out of bounds off of Thornell. I'm going back to the old commercial. It's got to be the shoes.
It's got to be. Reminds me of the movie Like Mike.
Yeah.
You know, when he puts on the Michael Jordan shoes. Not that I'm Michael Jordan or anything, but
you're gonna have a jump man. We'll have a little logo for you as getting free. One of the Warhawks down toward the end line tries to cross it. Really nobody there.
Nobody home.
As it was Cade Bryant, the freshman, but left alone, and that's all he could really do with it.
You know, one thing we didn't get to do today was the lock of the game.
That's true.
So one thing we were going to try to start implying.
Well, you got a prediction for the rest of this match?
To be honest, I could say that it could end the same score as the Southern Wesleyan game at 5-1.
Okay, 5. Well, so you're giving the Warhawks a goal, a score.
I gotta.
The fans will like that.
Yeah, I gotta give the goal to Arriaga.
Okay.
Something tells me, you know, he's not wearing my boots today, so we'll see what he can do.
I was about to ask how many pairs of shoes you had if he was. Under 30 seconds till the half. A hat trick so far. A flag up on the far side and a foul called has turned it over with the Warhawks. And that's going to pretty much take us till the half. 3 scores, however, 2 of which came within a minute of each other, have the Lakers up so far. And they'll trickle it in. Almost another opportunity for them to score. But Ingram down with it on the save, and that will allow time now to expire. So it's not the 4-0 lead Pete Peterson maybe had in mind. Still pretty good, though. 3-0. The Lakers will certainly take it. As we said, they have had their own at least struggles to find the net. They had been held scoreless in their last 2 matches. So they're happy to have that 3-0 lead. First scoring, Dwamina. That was his 5th of the year. He later added an assist. We saw Thornell follow him less than a minute behind, his 3rd score of the year, and then Dean Foster put away his 5th score of the year at 15:52. So there's your scoring roundup. We saw also with assists, Dwamina and Tom Mitchinson. So Mitchinson having 2 of those. So an impressive first half, and we'll get you set for action in just under about 14 minutes. We'll be back for the second half of play. 3-0, the Lakers over the Warhawks. Welcome back, everyone, as we get ready for the second half of play. A 3-0 lead for the Lakers over the Warhawks of Auburn-Montgomery. As we welcome you back alongside Bill Schindler with you, and it has been pretty lopsided when you look at some of the statistics, especially the shots. Right now, Clayton State leading by 10 in that category through one half. 16-6 is what they have outpaced Auburn-Montgomery to this point, as Auburn-Montgomery has squeezed off 6 of those. And actually, we should mention 5 of those 6 have come from Willie Runarsson, as he has been kind of the one man that has forced the issue to this point. 3 of those 5 have been on goal. As we mentioned, the goals for Clayton State: Foster, Dwamina, and Thornell. Mitchison with 2 assists, and Dwamina with an assist too. So that has been a good night for both of those players, especially for Dwamina. A goal and an assist, 3 points total for him on 2 shots. And we're underway once more. So there you go. Larry Frere also made 3 saves, as that'll be off the end line. And we're going to actually see Frere continue on. They're not going to put in Pinnell, at least at this point. So Frere still in goal. 7 saves for Ingram, as he'll have the kick out, giving up those 3 goals. And on the corners, it was a 5-0 advantage on the corner kicks for the Lakers. That just adds to that total in the disparities, really, in all categories for the Warhawks.
You know, one thing that surprises me, Bill, is the fact that Coach Pete didn't go to his bench at all. Came with the same starting lineup, you know, from the first half. Hasn't had any subs at all. You would think by now you'd see maybe Kevin Otakori, maybe Juuso from Finland, but he hasn't gone. Probably hasn't even looked to the bench. You start to wonder if you're really thinking, if he's really thinking about waiting until 4-0 to start bringing some of these bench players in.
There's Gutierrez, and he'll just have to escort it out toward the end line, but keeps it in for now. Is challenged and gets it taken away from him, and then has to commit a foul. I guess we're supposed to take it seriously. Pete was saying, hey, 4-0, I'm going to feel okay. I think he's waiting for that 4th score.
And you know what? That's an odd call as well, as you know, you would think that Auburn-Montgomery had possession there of the ball, and Hector committed the foul. Instead, it's the other way around. I was assuming that was going to be on Gutierrez, but instead it went Lakers ball. We'll take it. Gutierrez chips it through off of Mitchison, but they'll turn it over. There's the young man who's been the star so far, Willie Runarsson. Back to his keeper, though. And I think it's fair to say that, you know, if you're anybody on the field right now in part of the Lakers, that you don't want to commit any dumb fouls, you know, give up any set pieces where they can, you know, probably capitalize on, as you see Arriaga there with the ball.
And he's been the lone goal scorer on the season, has Arriaga, and curved it a bit too much, went out on that far side, and it will be a goal kick for Larry Frere. Oscar, it's been a while since these two teams met here in Morrow. It has been since September 12th of 1996. This is actually only the 3rd meeting all time. They played last year in Alabama, but they had not played. The first meeting was the only meeting up till that point of last year, September 12th of 96. In case you were wondering, it was a 3-1 victory for the Warhawks. It's been a while. That would be the Clinton administration. The #1 song in the country on September the 12th of 1996, as that's played into the box, but a little bit too far for Gutierrez, who was hustling down there. #1 song everybody was jamming out to was the Macarena, which I'm a little shocked as Frere puts it in the air. Headed off of Runarsson. But I did talk with Jordan Knight this evening, Has played toward the box. Fair comes out, slides it away before it could get closer toward the net, and we're going to have a whistle down there. I was asking Jordan Knight, do you know what the Macarena is, though? He did. He did. We were wondering. It was just sort of a debate, as we'll have a corner here, a rarity for the Warhawks this season, and it's going to be the big foot of the young man from Iceland, Ville Runarsson.
You know what? And it doesn't shock me that he knows the Macarena. A lot of people everybody from the team will probably say he's our best dancer.
Ah, see, there you go. Living in Spain all those years. Runarsson, left leg, a little bit offline. Knight moves it ahead on the run. Here's Thornell. Sekou Thornell outpaced, knocked away from him by one of the defenders. And that was Brunell, just coming in for the first time. Brunell from Anchorage, Alaska. Played, I believe, at Diamond High School up there. Diamond High School on the south part of Anchorage. And a whistle to Runen going down, holding his right ankle.
Stop clock.
So, Oscar, do you know what the Macarena was? You know how to dance it?
I do a little bit, but I tend to not show off my moves a lot. I'm not, the Jordan Knight of the team. We leave all the dancing strictly to him.
Let me just tell you, as a person who lived through 1996 and remembers it and remembers dancing to it, you didn't miss much on that one. That and Achy Breaky Heart are two things of the 90s we could have just gotten away with and gotten rid of. On the far side, that is Dwamina. Dwamina moving toward goal. Fouled. Is he in the box? We might have a PK. And I think we're going to – it's hard to tell if he was in the box or not.
Yeah, he was definitely in the box, and that's a PK. And as soon as you saw, the referee point to the PK area, you have Pete Peterson here already asking for Dean Foster to go ahead and put it into the back of the net. So hopefully he notches in his second one of the night.
Yeah, I thought he was. It's just from our angle, not 100%. As Foster will line it up. Foster scored at 15:52, left to play in the first half. Let's see if he can put in number 2, and he does. 4-0. So 4-0 for the Lakers. Foster scores at 39:47 on the PK. And so there is the score that now Pete Peterson was starting to look at. We'll see maybe if that opens up the bench a little bit.
And you know what? It's very hard for a goalkeeper to not only save a PK, but let alone guess the right way. So the fact that Steven Ingram went ahead and guessed the right way, that was at least something he could be somewhat proud about.
Frere will work it back through his defense, and Knight. Well, the Lakers are happy with this so far. This effort is what they had wanted. Not a letdown against an opponent they felt like they should come out and handle, but still did not want to overlook. And so far to this point, they've played a very good match. And that's going to be a whistle and maybe even a card here. We'll see a little bit of an argument as the young man from Alaska talking to the official.
And he's arguing the fact that it's a 2-on-1 there. Somebody's, he probably gets shoulder to shoulder, doesn't like the way he gets bumped, and then Mitchinson comes in to help him out. So, he feels like he got fouled first.
Anchorage has about half of the population of the state of Alaska, if you've ever been up there. Anchorage is their big city.
I have, as a matter of fact.
You have? There you go.
Yes, sir.
Do you like it?
Well, to be honest, it's very dark, very gray, and very cold.
You went in the winter.
Yeah.
By the way,
again, if I'm not mistaken, is it 9 months? 9 months out of the year, it's cold like that.
Close to it. As
Right,
Mitchinson was the one who sent it into the box there, we wanted to mention. But yeah, that's it. Takes a little bit of learning up there. Got to go in the summer. So you picked the wrong time of year.
I was about 6 years old. My dad, fortunately for me, used to work for Delta Airlines, so I flew for free, and he wanted to take me to Alaska.
It's a flight, but it's worthwhile.
Yeah, he baited me in, telling me we were going to see the North Pole. So as a 6-year-old, You're very happy.
You got close. There is actually North Pole, Alaska's. That is on goal, but saved by Frere.
That's 14, Arriaga.
14. Cool, thank you.
Foster now on the run on the near side. Foster trying to cross it. There's Mitchinson. Mitchinson open, and he'll chip it in just shy of getting it to the back of the net, though. He shorted himself on this near side and out. Pete Peterson wanted the call.
Very stunned, as you would imagine Tom to at least strike the ball a little harder.
Thought a little too maybe finesse on it.
Probably the defender just came in. I mean, I didn't have a good look from my angle here, but probably the defender came in and popped it out, which is why it's a corner.
Knocked away. Lurking was Sekou Thornell.
Another corner here for the Lakers.
So the Lakers, who had 5 corners in the first half, will now have number 7 on the match. Through the box, and nobody home all the way over to the far side.
You got to wonder and see who had that second post. If they would have kept running, maybe you get a head at the end of it.
Back to the Warhawks. So your dad talked you into going to see the North Pole, huh?
Yeah. He got me into going. He said we were gonna go to Alaska to go see it, so I went. I've been very fortunate enough, thanks to him to be able to see it.
There is a North Pole, Alaska, though, Oscar. Did you know that?
Yeah, no. To be fair, I actually saw it, but as a 6-year-old kid, you're thinking.
You did. So you got to the North Pole. Did you get?
No. You see it from there's like a road that you get to see it. You take your binoculars and you actually get to see.
Oh no, but there's actually a town.
Is it?
There is a town south of Fairbanks, Alaska, that is North Pole, Alaska, and you can go to the post office, mail a letter to Santa, address from North Pole, Alaska. They actually have Santa's workshop up there, which is really a tourist attraction in the middle of kind of nowhere. Let's put it this way. I wouldn't put it on your bucket list. If you're there, you might as well stop by, but they'll make a special trip. Here's Gutierrez. Foster on the near sideline against Christian Young. Flipped it back to Runerson. Runerson, a nice crosser, but a little bit too outpaced. I think kind of behind the intended striker, which was Will Atkinson, the freshman from Auburn, Alabama. 35-18 and taking a 4-0 lead for the Lakers. So did you get to go up to Barrow? I'm interested. I'm fascinated in this.
I was 6 years old, so I don't remember much. I still have a lot of the pictures, but definitely Anchorage, Alaska was one of them. As we get
crosser, and Dwamina tried to knock it in on a slide and couldn't do so.
That was Sekou Thornell that we got to see almost at the end of that. Great extra effort, great ball by Tom. It's just a matter again of just putting it away, but a lot easier said than done.
Runerson on the length of the field there at Christian Young, the closest to it. Frere will knock it back and forth.
These are the type of games where you want to see, your goal scorers get in, and those that haven't seen the back of the net much, go ahead and start getting that confidence and get their tallies up. As it looks like we're about to see our Coach Peterson go straight to the bench. First time looking at the bench, Otakore and Olila, also Pimenta.
So we'll have that trio coming in once there's a stoppage in the Lakers' favor. Still pressing the Warhawks. Give them credit, they have not gone away. And as Clayton State, another opportunity down there. I believe that was Foster once more. Trying to rally here is Young and the Warhawks on the run. Knight came over, bottled him up, and still in the direction of the Warhawks. Into the net, toward the net, and Frere comes out and makes the basket catch.
And it seems like maybe, the boys are a bit tired. So it's a good thing we're going to go ahead and take a look at.
There's Dwamina. Dwamina making a spin move, keeping possession, trying to knock it in, but double teamed. Good work there by Alexander Wagner defensively, and we're going to see the Olila, Pimenta, and Otakore trio coming in. Atkinson coming off, and we'll see who the rest of them are, two still to be named.
Sekou and Kwaku look like they're going to be coming off the field as well, joining Connor Atkinson.
And they put in some solid minutes to give this team a 4-0 lead. We're going to see a corner coming up again for the Lakers.
See how Pimenta adjusts, staying as a defensive center mid. Connor Atkinson is very, very disciplined in staying back, and he doesn't ever leave a gap back there. So just going to see how a freshman like Pimenta is able to handle the role.
Whistle and a little bit of frustration from Alexis Arriaga.
What are you guys doing out there?
Sorting it out, and I think we're going to have a redo of the corner.
Yeah, probably that the time didn't start once they kicked off from the corner kick.
Yes. Yep.
They've gone with the short corners, says Clayton State. Now they'll flip it back over. Addy Jr. with the header, but he heads it out of bounds.
Then that's what you want to be looking for on a corner kick. Tallest player on the field.
Addy Jr. certainly is that. Carl's 6'4", 170. Jonesboro went to Georgia Military College before this.
I wonder where in his body there's 170 pounds. I'll ask that.
Luckily, he has a problem that most of us would like to have, right? He's tall and slim. Addy Jr. is going to have to backtrack, and we'll play it back to Frere, but there was crashing down upon him.
You know what, Bill? I hate to disagree with you. I like my beautiful figure.
Just wait till you get a little older. Unfortunately, those metabolisms start to slow down.
You know, there's a saying that goes, the abs attract, but the belly makes them fall in love.
Everybody has those six-packs, just under a bit of ice. Otakore has it taken away from him, back to the middle. Arriaga, nice ball control.
Like to say I taught him that one.
Looking again for Runerson. He's really been the outstanding player so far we've seen for the Warhawks. Otakore moving it ahead. Mitchinson. He's got Olila ahead of him, instead keeps it himself. Mitchinson back toward the middle, tries to chip it in there to the far side, out the keeper, and coming over to swallow it up was Ingram before flipping it out to that far side. 30 minutes and 12 seconds with a 4-0 lead for the Lakers. They've looked good. They've looked pretty much in charge. 3 goals in the first half, 1 now here on a penalty kick in the second half.
Looks like Coach Peterson's going to get another call here to the bench as we see Carlos Naranjo here taking off his penny. Wonder who he's going to come in for.
Olila, Yuso Olila, well, the freshman. They like to keep him on the bench and bring him in as fresh legs, and he's on a breakaway here. Goes to Mitchinson. Mitchinson couldn't finish again. Tom's had those opportunities. He just hasn't put a hard ball on net. And Ingram slides over to, that is a, boy, that's a high kick. That's a beautiful kick, though. Got some real good distance on it, did the keeper. Back toward Frere.
I don't know if you noticed here, Bill, but the 3 starting forwards, each one of them were able to go ahead and score a goal today. That's something you don't see often.
That's
each one
true.
of the forwards went ahead and had a goal.
Good production, too. I mean, that's something you got to be, that's a very good point. Something Coach Pete Peterson is going to be happy about.
Yeah, and although Tom hasn't gone at the end of one, he's went ahead and put a good amount of assists today. So as we see Gutierrez taking a break, good showing by him tonight.
Naranjo replaces him. By the way, we do want to mention to go to the website ClaytonStateSports.com, and you can, I think, vote for the Peach Belt Conference Play of the Month. Dwamina Mitchinson, and who else?
Foster.
And Foster are all 3 nominated for that. So go on the website. I believe it's on the Twitter feed as well. And you can cast your vote for the play that you thought was the best. We're going to go on there, and Oscar and I are going to start stuffing the ballot boxes. I don't know. I've got to go look at which one we think was the best. I'm going to have to see those highlights.
Something tells me that 40-yard shot from Dean Foster here at home is it's got to be one of them.
That was pretty good. That one is hard to beat. That's for sure.
Yeah, like I said on that broadcast, it's got to be probably one of the best goals I've seen here at Laker Field.
Vote early, vote often. Ville Runarsson will take the free kick, and just because, why not, in a 4-0 game when I had nothing better to do with my time. We talked about September the 12th of 96 was the first time these two teams met here, and the last time they met on the pitch here in Morrow. And we've got a young man from Iceland making the free kick, and he's got a big boot and sends it all the way through the traffic where Frere will cover it up. Here you go. You might be wondering why I'm connecting these two, and it's a tenuous connection, but like I said, it's a 4-0 lead. An opportunity again, outpaced though, as Odakuri was the one trying to track it down. The stalker for Bjork, the Icelandic singer, actually died on September the 12th of 1996. I told you I had way too much time on soccer prep on my hands. But there you go. There's your September 12th Icelandic connection. Here's Mitchinson. Crosses it to the middle on the backside, flips it in, and a finish for the Lakers, up now 5-0. And that was the young man from Finland, Juuso Olila, his first career goal at the collegiate level.
I can see that smile all the way from over here, Bill. He is an excited freshman. Just stepped onto the field, probably has about 10 minutes in. And like you said, they like to keep him on the bench, bring him in for fresh legs. And great ball there by Tom Mitchinson with another assist.
Led his team in high school to back-to-back all-Finland national champions as a freshman and a sophomore. And so a lot of quality experience at the high school level in Finland. Paying off here. The score comes at 26-39 here in the second half of play. We're also going to see a substitution as Brandon Kelly comes in for the Warhawks. To the bench is Talal Salami. And so it continues. The good scoring and the good offensive output. 5-0.
And Bill, what do you do? What do you do if you're Coach Wolf? I mean, you go down 0-8. You see him upset here, but what do you do?
I don't know. This is a rough year. I mean, there's really no other way to put it. They are just, I mean, they're taking it on the chin, and they've been outscored 26-1 coming into this match. So you had 5 onto that.
Well, so far the lock of the game is 5-1. So right now I have the 5 right.
Yeah.
Looking for the 1.
31-1. They've been outscored on the season. Been outshot coming in 148-39. It's a 7-game losing streak this season, but when you couple it with last season, it's a 9-game losing streak for the Warhawks. It's tough. And, I mean, they're just going to have to keep their heads up, play on, and see what they can do. But you're right. It's probably, and you know, a very good coach. And Wolf Koch, he's had a lot of experience, and it's probably going to be one of the more challenging years to see where this team goes.
And it looks like we're going to get our first look in the entire season here of Alan Mejia. See who he comes in for. Good kid coming out from North Atlanta. Norcross to be exact.
Still watching for late thrower kick.
Runarsson heads it back out toward the defense of Knight, and now Frere, the keeper just outside of the box, flips it over to Jordan Knight.
Second assist for him on the season. He was already 24th in the country coming in. That made you have to watch.
Odakore goes down with a defender. They'll play on though.
Chipped ahead.
Flipped in, Mitchinson again, and that's headed out as
That's
Tom goes
good.
down.
As soon as he stepped down, you see him go straight to the ground.
Hopefully he's okay. You don't want that to happen, as you were mentioning. Coming in, Alan Mejia.
That didn't look good at all. See how upset he is on the ground there. Wouldn't want it more than anything.
Well, you hope that this is not serious, as he has been very good so far this year as a ball distributor. Has the midfielder. Mitchison from transferring in from Spartanburg Methodist, but he's from Middlesbrough, England.
As strong as he is, I see him walking it off all the way at least to the bench. There's no way he's gonna let anyone cart him off this field.
Last year he led the team with 13 assists and had 6 goals for 25 points. That's Spartanburg Methodist. He added 2 assists here tonight. You hope assist night, I'm sure, is probably done, and that's maybe not going to be with the seriousness of the injury, just that they're going to let him have the breather either way. You hope it's nothing serious that keeps him out of multiple matches. Sekou Thornell will come in to replace him.
And you know what? I'm never one to second guess a coach's decision, but you know, you're up already 4-5-0. Why not go ahead and give some of these boys, you know, the ones that play a lot, give them a little bit of a rest.
Mejia took the corner, and it was Olila knocking it out.
So back to what I was saying, just would have given him a rest a little earlier, you know, avoid any injuries. Already got your playing time in, so again, we just hope it's nothing more severe than that.
Knocked toward the middle, a little back and forth as midfield play continues here between these two. 5-0 Clayton State. That goes the young man we were mentioning from Alaska, Brunel. Going to see return of Simon Van Rieden, one of the strikers we saw early in the match for the Warhawks. He'll return at the next stoppage. That will allow substitutions for the Warhawks.
There he is, Alan Mejia. First look at him, and he wins, gets to win us a corner.
So Mejia will take his second corner since coming into the match.
Service.
Olila to Addy Jr. The header off of the keeper's hand. Nice save there. Back to Olila on the long ricochet before a whistle will stop action. Boy, that was a nice play by Stephen Ingram on the save.
Yeah, it was a nice save, but it looks like it was offsides, so he would have been saved by the bell there regardless.
Flag came up on the near side. Brunel over there. Thornell tripped him up. Trying to move it ahead are the Warhawks. Let's see if they can get some positive traction. Looking for Christian Young. They left it well short of him, though. Hadanha plays it through Addy Jr. Frere will just play it through his defenders here on the near side. Naranjo, who not seen a ton of action-wise. Uchikore now making the move. Knocked away by Runerson. Well, with 21 minutes, why not? I mean, I'm still fascinated on your little trip here to Alaska. It brings back some memories.
Have you gone?
3 summers up there.
3 summers.
Baseball, yeah. But now this, it just, see, you brought up the North Pole. You didn't know what can of worms you were going to open up here. And the young man actually from Anchorage passing off to Runerson. And now Christian Young goes back to Runerson. Back to the middle. And Addy Jr. swings and didn't get full contact. Puts it back in the middle. And back in the Warhawks possession. Trickles through, knocked away there by the defense of Clayton State. Flag is up. And a foul on the far side. It'll be going in the direction of the Lakers. They're actually retiring. When you go up to the real, if you're going not all the way to the North Pole, but if you go up to Barrow, Alaska, there's these planes that they call them combis. They're 737-400s. They don't really exist that much anywhere else on Earth anymore. They're going to retire them later this month. And the front part of the plane is actually where cargo goes. The back part is where you ride as a passenger. So it is quite possible, this has actually happened before, that if you're going that far north, you could be flying with reindeer. They have had reindeer fly in that plane as part of the cargo hold.
Oh.
So just a little fun fact. Unfortunately, that's going to end sometime this October.
And you know what? You have one fun fact every game, and that has definitely been one of the best ones I've heard.
You like that? Did
Yeah,
you get to fly with reindeer up there?
Yeah.
That's, hey, you know, that's getting close to Santa Claus.
And while we're having the fun fact there, you see just a bad foul there by Carl Addy. He's been very impressive in these games.
Frere, a nice save too. Frere really was tested probably with the most of this match. Up in the air, still an opportunity for the Warhawks. Christian Young was trying to flick it back and couldn't turn around, had his back toward the goal, and now some pace from Odokore as he gives it up possession-wise, but at least gets it over the center line and clears it.
And you know what? When Carlos Tanajo there pokes it out, Kevin Odokore takes 2 touches, and then he just a bit casual on the ball, and you see Christian Young getting on the burners and catching up to him. Very casual of him. If not, if you're Kevin, you want to get a goal in. You haven't seen the back of the net, so.
Ooh, a big challenge there, and we'll have a whistle. Otokore, we wonder if this is going to draw a card. So he went into Runerson hard, and it's going to be a yellow card on Kevin Otokore. Not sure how much contact he drew, but it didn't look good. And he went in pretty hard. And
you know what? I understand the ref there. He comes up, he leaves his feet. Both feet come off the ground. If he slides tackle normally, you don't give it, but he practically jumps up. And it has to be out of frustration out of this near-sided play here. As fast as he is, as skillful as he is, he's wanting to have a couple more touches on the ball like he usually does, and they're just not allowing that today.
So Willie Runerson, who has led the team in shots tonight for the Warhawks, will take the free kick. I think it looked a lot worse than it was, but still, at this point in the match, you don't want to get anybody hurt.
Or get any, dumb yellow cards like that. And those do affect you in the long run.
Played ahead. Clayton State again with a scoring opportunity. But nice defense knocked away. Kept alive, though, as Odokore now just outside the box makes a move with the right foot. Nutmegs his defender, crosses to the middle, left open, and still defended well again by the Warhawks. Coming over was Asher Gipner to make the stop.
And that was a great move there in the box by Kevin Odokore. Bit sloppy there by Jordan Knight. Wish he would have used his left foot.
Final 18, and now it becomes a question, will Frere get the shutout or not? And again, becomes a question for the Warhawks when they can score. They last scored a goal on September the 8th. That was in a loss to Davenport University. They went down 2-1 in that match. Obviously, that has been the closest they have been to winning a match all year. A bit of a heartbreaker there for them. Part of the Capital City Classic they played in.
It doesn't seem like it's getting any better for them here.
In swinger, and did it find the back of the net? It did. So they'll get the score. Oscar's lock is looking pretty good now. See if we get the number there. I think that was number 9, Simon van Rieden, the young man from Oud Bjorland, Holland. His first score of the year, 17-15 left to play in this match to make it 5-1. Give him credit. I have to say, I mean, that's a kind of a, you feel good in a way because you want that for a team that struggled. I mean, it's one of those where it's kind of hard at times when you see a team really struggle the way that the Warhawks have. And they earned it. I mean, that was not a pity goal by any means. They earned that goal. They earned that score.
And you know what? It goes back to just the fundamental. I mean, the ball's coming in. If Jordan Knight's able to hit that with his left, either back where it came from or onto the middle of the field instead, he shanks it into the, for a corner kick, and things like that can't happen.
So the Oscar Nevares lock of the lock of the match was 5-1. Looking pretty good. And the Riverboat Gambler Dealer of me wants to say, do you want to stand pat, Oscar, or should we hit you again and go for 6-1? You want to change the lock or no?
No. I mean, I'm a gambling man, and I'll leave it at 5-1.
Okay. Naranjo into the corner. Knocked away, and we're going to have another corner kick. So he's hit a natural 21 to my right, and he doesn't want me to hit him again with another card. I think that's probably a smart way to do it. Corners have been, we haven't really seen those big in-swing corners tonight from Clayton State. They played it short, and they'll do so again.
Not only have we not seen them tonight, we haven't seen them all season. As it looks like we're going to get to see another look at Connor Atkinson here.
Flag is up, offsides. Trying to trickle down there was Alan Mejia.
And it looks like he still hasn't changed the boots, so he still has a little bit of magic left in him.
(5-1) your score. As we mentioned, it was Simon Van Rieden who got the first score of the match and the second score of the year for the Warhawks. I'm reading the history major.
Looks like they're going to give Mitro, Finnish starter here, a rest.
He certainly played well.
Very great game, very solid game by him today.
Oh, Takore doing some work with his arms and gets whistled for the foul. Got a little bit too handsy there with Cooper Howard.
And it looks like it's going to be Laker ball, the foul.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he gave the advantage there. It's a good call by the referee.
So Howard was the one that got whistled. So both physical contact, but the Lakers will win that one.
And it looks like even with Connor Atkinson on the pitch, they're going to keep Pimenta more on the disciplined defensive midfield role, as they're going to give Connor Atkinson a little bit of freedom to move up.
Whistle, we're going to see maybe a card upcoming. Just a stern talking to right now from the official. Uh-oh, well, the whistle came back. Waiting to see if he goes to the pocket, hasn't yet. So I think, and a thumbs up, well, no yellow card. Alexander Wagner with some frustration there and got a stern talking to. Far side wing, I think they were looking for Parsons and just led too much, went out of bounds on the far side. Warhawks will have the advantage. Bill Schindler and Oscar Nevares with you. It's been a pleasure so far to this point. The Lakers will have their next, at least men's home match until the month of October, as that'll be just wide as Frere. I'm not sure, did he get a hand on it or not? I think he might have deflected it a bit. Yes, he. No, they're going to call it a goal kick. The Warhawks thought maybe he got a hand on it too, but instead just whistled by him and did not make contact with it.
You know, hit the post there, and just Connor Atkinson there gets his pocket picked, not anticipating the second defender. Very unlike him.
Erskine's the next match. That's 5 o'clock on October the 4th. That'll be our next home match. That'll be part of the double header. The women will be playing later as well. On September 30th is the next match period for the men. They'll be on the road. They're going to go to
defending national champs.
Francis Marion. Well, no, they'll play Francis Marion next.
Oh, is it? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at it. After Erskine, they play the national champs in Wingate.
Yeah, three matches from now. They'll be off to Florence, South Carolina after this. And just on the far side, had no shot.
And you like to see the confidence there in Pimenta, you know, being a freshman, being able to, you know, control the ball, take on a player, look up, you know, see the goal and just be able to want to hit it.
Atkinson heads it down. See what the Lakers can do here. Off of Odakore's foot. A little bit too far off again, off the mark, and so a goal kick upcoming once more for the Warhawks.
And you see Kevin a little frustrated there. Had he whipped around the ball a little bit more, at least, you know, you put it on frame. But great ball there by Sekou. You're going to try to keep opening it up for Otakore. You want him to get on the score sheet and you know, and show that he can. He can put a couple away. Does it all the time in practice. It's just a matter of time before one opens up for him here.
No, I mean, it's a term that I don't really like. I mean, they always talk about, you know, the term garbage time. It's not for the guys who are in the match. This is time that they're going to get to have some experience, see what they can do. And they're trying to, I mean, they're out there playing. And they're trying to, I mean, that's the funny part is everybody says, oh, you know, at these point, those garbage minutes. Well, it's not garbage minutes to the guys in the match.
Yeah, he's definitely not hearing any of that. He wants to go ahead and, you know, whether he scores or not, what he wants to do is definitely just have a good showing out, you know, show Coach Peterson that he deserves to be, you know, the top 11, part of the starting 11. So this is his way of doing it right here with a nice spin move in the box and
just wide.
Just wide.
Yeah, Otakore was trying for that back corner and couldn't get it to go in on the ground.
You see the skill and the pace that he has. As quick as he is, you know, I would have loved to have seen him put that one away.
Your friend Arriaga is going to return here as we'll see him come back in when the Warhawks will have the positive possession.
Got a text message from one of our good friends, Andres Moreno, saying he's watching him play as well. So a big hello to Andres. Was my roommate in Alabama.
Yeah, you were down there for a while, right?
Just a year, and he was a very good friend of mine. Ended up being my roommate the second semester, so a big hello to him. I know he's watching from Montana.
And they've got Arriaga listed from Madison, but you were telling me he's from Huntsville.
From Huntsville, Alabama.
Home of the Redstone Rocket. On the far side, streaking down, trying to crash into the box, and a nice save by Frere. That was a ball from Simon Van Rieden, trying for his second score of the match. Van Rieden put a nice little effort on it, and Frere has been solid in goal. We've been impressed by the sophomore tonight.
Nine minutes left. We have Carlos Naranjo here on the near side, throwing it into Sekou.
Thornell getting hugged from behind there as he'll flip it back out.
He has to let it go a lot earlier than that.
Long ball from Van Rieden, and that was just an effort to put it into the zone, and letting it go out was Frere.
He sees Larry standing almost at the 18. You know, you're down 5-1. Might as well take a chance from there.
Yeah, why not? I mean, you never know.
Had that been on frame, I mean, it's a bit scary because he had the leg for it. Again, as we see Arriaga stepping in for Louvier.
Warhawks will play it back to their keeper. Well, Clayton State has to be happy at least with the results so far. going to win the match as we're under 8 minutes, up 5-1. It's just a matter of the final score. They'd like to keep it frozen as is. Knocked away off the far sideline. A throw in for the Warhawks. They're hustling, though. Give Auburn-Montgomery credit. They have not stopped playing.
I mean, you can't stop playing.
No.
There's no way. You're down 5-1. You look like you're about to go 0-8 in the season. This is, regardless of whatever score may be, you need to always be on your, you always need to be playing 100%.
There's a foul before that shot.
Even if you're Clayton State, you're winning, but your record's not showing, the way, what you want it to show. So you need to be playing at 100% as well. Especially the new guys getting a chance to touch the field.
In these matches, too, there's always the debate about running up the score. I mean, sometimes it's Clayton State really hasn't had the opportunity. I mean, they're up 5-1. As a whistle and a foul that'll be called on Cooper Howard of the Warhawks. Advantage Clayton State, but I mean, sometimes I know people get upset about running up the score, things like that. Well, they're just playing. I mean, you can't really stop playing. Clayton State, at this point, I don't think, I mean, they saw that they gave up that score. They didn't want to make it close.
And you hear Coach Peterson on the side telling the boys to stop being sloppy with the ball, regardless that you're up 5-1. You have a couple of the subs in. If you're not a starter, right now is when you need to show that you belong. And you want a spot on the starting 11. As you see, Juso taking advantage of his time, gets his pocket pick there, but he's running back, fighting back for the ball.
And he scored a goal tonight, but he's going to be whistled for the foul on that one. This time, the young man tripped up was Cooper Howard, who got whistled the last time for the foul. He gets tripped up this time by Olila. Free kick for Vili Runarsson. Young man from Iceland. We were talking about the island. That's really a kind of neat place to go if you get a chance. And also the most nightclubs per capita of any place on Earth. Not only a good geological spot, it's not a bad party spot, if you're so inclined. Picked up there by Frere. I don't know, though. That's what I've heard. Oscar was giving me a look.
No, definitely not. It's, if you say it, I believe it.
Okay. I'm just saying. I mean, what I've heard, that's... I mean, I don't know how many nightclubs there are. It's not a big island. I mean, when you say per capita. Challenge here on the near side and then knocked away back through the defense. And Alexander Wagner and a whistle. Wagner down to Payne, and then we're going to have a bit of a fight breaking out here. We hope that's nothing big as Odokore came in, or I should say Sekou Thornell came in, and Thornell's going to have to be restrained as this could get ugly. We don't want it to. That's Cooper Howard was there. Howard's only about 5'9", but he got in there and was getting involved with Sekou Thornell, who scored a goal tonight. You don't want him to get in any trouble as far as red cards. Ugly collision.
And you know what, as the captain there, you expect better from Sekou. I understand, you'd hate for that to happen, and especially because the friendship he has with Odokore, and, regardless of what it is, you'd like to see the fight in him, but that's just not the way to do it.
Redshirt senior from just north of here in Atlanta, Southern Poly State University. Redshirted last year. And Thornell, good to see. He's going to go over and show some sportsmanship. Give some hugs to players across the way. And the good news is back to his feet is Alexander Wagner, freshman from Germany. And the good part is he's walking, and you heard that was some pain, and we're going to see what the official's going to do is sorting this all out.
And you know what? It shocks me there as the official how he's not coming back for number 2. He's the one that comes in and pushes Otakori and initially starts the Cooper Howard from Gainesville, Florida. How he's not booking him, at least giving him a yellow.
Well, both of them will not get cards, which I think is fortunate.
Well, Kevin actually got his second yellow. That'll be his red.
Did he? Okay, I didn't see that.
But I'm surprised Coach P hasn't told the referee anything about number 2, how he comes in and pushes them, doesn't even get a card.
Thornell's still out there.
Yeah, Thornell didn't get a card. Nobody else got a card except for Otakori for the bad tackle. Second yellow of the night, and that'll not only end his night tonight, but his next game.
Yeah, it's the two combined. Well, that's not what you wanted by any means.
No, of course not. Especially, in a game like this where you shouldn't have any, especially any red cards if you're winning.
I mean, 5-1. Look, I understand the frustration. It's been just an awful season for Auburn-Montgomery. I mean, they've really gone through it.
But exactly, you have nothing to lose if you're Auburn-Montgomery.
Yeah.
But, if you're Clayton State, you're still having something to fight for. You're still early in the season, and you see some type of light at the end of the tunnel. And
now we're under 4 minutes. You're up 5-1. Just kind of keep it together and get in the locker rooms. Everybody A-okay. I agree with you. It's
that now puts a little bit more pressure on the Lakers as they have to travel to Francis Marion without an Otakori that can give you
shot
speed
wide
and pace and skill.
It was Arriaga. Arriaga trying for his second goal of the year. Sent that whistling past Frere, but just a little bit offline.
Like we're zooming in. If I say I can basically see what someone's eating over there, that's what that does for you.
Well, a match that I think we've seen a lot of good things. Unfortunately, the last maybe 6 minutes of this match had kind of gone a little bit sideways for the Lakers, just in what we're talking about the card situation. Striking into the box again, and that is played out smartly to the far side as Christian Young comes over to clean it up. Back into the box, flag is up, offsides called. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. The flag was up. Ball went over the crossbar. They just missed, but like we said, it was offsides. So I know they're frustrated, but even if it would have scored, it would have been double frustration.
Yeah, but even then, I mean, you hear Coach Wolf here on the sideline. Keep going. If you're, I heard this message all last season. Just keep going. Just keep fighting. Even though the season's not going your way, you got to get the most out of it yourself, and you got to put pressure and just keep attacking. If you're the Lakers, you want to hold them out, and that's definitely not the way to do it with Larry Frere shanking that.
Larry will try to clear again, gets partially deflected, but does find its way all the way out over midfield, and with the Lakers on the run. Too far fed ahead. And
seems like we had a mini streaker on the field.
Put a glass on him.
We had one of the young men who's not quite eligible yet get out and come out onto the field.
That is a very bad option. That's with Tim standing right there, too.
Luckily, that young man didn't get run over, though. That's kind of the dangerous part of that. Well, I'll tell you what, with 1:53, Oscar, I'm ready to put this thing to bed. We're getting a little goofy out here just because we've seen some things with the double yellow and almost a fight. Yeah. I got a little kid out on the field. I mean, it's one of those where you're just now hoping, okay, let's get home safely, get to the barn.
You know what, that's a good shout. Something that, I mean, it's our second red in a row. We had DZ that we're missing today. You have DZ here.
And that was a pure red card.
Yeah, that was a straight red card. So, I mean, it's our second. Oh, Larry Frere with a skill there.
Nice little jump rope, but kept alive. Arriaga had it for a moment.
And a great ball by Carlos Tolila.
Yuso Olila with a score already. Let's see if he can do what with the left foot and just skyball well over the tree.
Good luck finding that ball.
On its way to Lake City. Under a minute at 49.9 seconds. Well, it's a good win. Like we said, it's kind of a weird ending. Been one of those where we kind of went to script. The story was what we thought it was going to be. However, we did see a score from the Warhawks, something they've only done once all year. Before that, score tonight from Von Rieden, his first of the season. But a little bit of a wacky finish. Oscar gets his lock of 5-1. He did miss on the, I think what you missed on the natural, though, you did call it for Arriaga.
I did.
So you see, you gave too much information. The beauty of that is you got to do the prediction, look fascinating, but leave a little mystery to it.
I had to give it to Arriaga, but you know what? He let me down.
Oh, okay.
He did. He let me down.
Yeah, it's his fault.
I'll blame him for that. I'll have a talk with him later about it.
It was still pretty impressive, Oscar. 5-1 is your final as the Warhawks fall to 0-8 on the season. The Lakers now at 500 at 4-4 as they're going to go on the road. As we said, they'll be going to Florence, South Carolina to play a Peach Belt Conference match against Francis Marion. So that's going to be a good test for them. They do have some impressive scores tonight. Dean Foster with 2 goals, including 1 on a penalty kick. We saw Thornell with a goal, his 3rd of the year. Juuso Olila, the young man from Helsinki, Finland, will get his first ever collegiate goal. And we saw Kwaku Dwamina, who got a goal at 25-17, his 5th of the season. He now has scored 5 times on 7 shots for the year. He also picked up an assist. Don't forget Tom Mitchinson had a pair of assists as well. On the other side, Simon Von Rieden, the young man from Holland, the sophomore, picks up his first goal and gets Auburn-Montgomery only their 2nd goal all season, but they do not get shut out. So there's a little bit of a moral victory for them. Well, as we mentioned, the next broadcast for the men here at home will be on October the 4th when Erskine comes to town. That'll be at 5 p.m., so we'll see you then. But keep in mind, September 30th on the road, Francis Marion at 5:30 will be the next match for the men. Well, Oscar, any final thoughts?
No, just definitely a great win for the boys tonight. They get a little bit of confidence under their belt going into Francis Marion in a Peach Belt Conference game. So, you need this game here to get the forwards going, like Dean and Dwamina, Sekou. Hopefully you get Tyson back, you get Oli back. You definitely get DZ back, so that's always good. And how we're going to go ahead and, go try to get our first win in the conference.
Let's just go over the final stats before we say goodbye. We were just handed them. They're impressive. You don't see this much. Clayton State, 28 shots for the match. 16 in the first half, 12 in the second half. 28-15 was the disparity. They also had 10 corners to 3 for Auburn-Montgomery. And the fouls, a lot of them, 18 combined, 10 for the Warhawks, 8 for the Lakers, saves 9 for Auburn-Montgomery, 7 for Clayton State. So interesting stat line at the end. Well, we'll say so long for now. A 5-1 final, your score tonight. Clayton State with the win over the Warhawks. We'll see you on October the 4th at 5 p.m. when Erskine will be here in Morrow on the pitch. Till then, we say so long for now. For Oscar Nevares, I'm Bill Schindler. We'll see you on October the 4th.